So convolutional neural network So in this presentation, I shall be, as I told you, covering two parts, separate parts: convolutional neural network, CNN, and then image classification using the traditional techniques, and then use of the CNN in image classification problem. So going through the convolutional neural networks, so as we know, the convolutional neural networks have been used in deep learning widely. So we will go through an overview of deep learning, how it has been evolved and what for it is being used. And then we will go through its architecture and few examples. I don't know, it is taking too much time to switching one slide to other.
Yes, sir, it is very slow, sir.
I don't know what happens because internet is good here this time. And yeah. So what should I do? Should I reshare? I don't think that there will be the
Sir,
solution.
if possible, sir, I think you should reconnect, sir.
Really? Because it
Yes,
is taking too much time
yes, sir.
to
Yes,
reach
sir.
to slide.
Please reconnect, sir. I think
Reconnect. Okay.
then problem will be solved.
Hello. Is it okay now? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
Yes, sir.
visible.
Yeah, it is fine. Thank you. Thank you. So let us quickly go through. So in the deep learning model, we shall be looking at different applications of deep learning. And once we talk about the research and technology, so from research to technology, we shall be looking at such applications of deep learning. Might be the speech recognition, it can be the Google Translate, it can be some Google search, or it may be some image search or image classification, recognition. It is another search engine, Baidu, used by China, as you know, and or any social media platforms. So deep learning models has been widely used in different areas, and some of those areas are these. So this way we can say that deep learning is just a big importance in different visual applications and speech recognitions. So classical computer vision pipeline usually looks the features in scene and how this can be done using the deep learning or convolutional neural network is the main topic that we shall be discussing. So if for this scene, computer vision experts treat it as first select some features or create some features, and widely used features are SURF features, SOG features, safe features, and then after extracting these features, what they do, they just use the classification problem, that is the machine learning algorithms, to classify after training the classifier. So this way, any detection, classification, or recognition problems could be performed. So this way, we can say the computer vision feature is domain specific and time consuming, meaning that for one problem we have to select one feature, and it is not essentially feasible that that particular feature will also be suitable for other application, other problem, other type of image. So this will be the big difference that we will be looking at the use of CNN for the same problem, that there we should not identify the different features for different type of data. It shall be automatically recognizing. When we talk about the deep learning aspects, in deep learning, it builds the features automatically based on the training data, meaning that users are not
Excuse me, sir, your voice is completely getting distracted. Will you please check your voice part actually?
Voice, okay. Hello, is it okay now?
Yes.
No? Yeah, okay, thank you. So we have seen the computer vision aspects, and then coming to deep learning aspects. So in deep learning aspects, what we do, deep learning models automatically extract the features. And those features are extracted based on the training the data. What data was trained, so it will automatically extracts the set of features, and then those features are used to recognize, classify, or detect the objects in any scene. These features are extracted features. Here is deep neural network, and then detection and classification will be performed. And this way, in the scene, different objects can be detected, can be recognized, can be classified. So widely used deep learning models are in the area of detection, classification, recognition. So rather than this, these deep neural networks may have the different different layers, so that can be used, or that can be used iteratively to classify, to recognize the things. So this way, we can say that it trains the good features automatically, and it is not domain specific, meaning that the same neural network may extract the features and can be used for different domains. In the earlier case, computer vision case, we have to extract, we have to create the features for different data, and that process was not automated. So if in some way we try to combine these deep learning, computer vision, and machine learning concept together, then we will combine these predefined features and with the learned features, and that apply the machine learning algorithms for the classification problems. So this way, like if it is a scene, then some computer vision features can be extracted, and then deep neural networks can be applied, then some classifier comes in the scene, and this integrated approach will give us the better accuracy and classification. So these three things together helps better in case of the classification or recognition problem. Coming to the basic model, so as we know, deep learning, I think in this workshop, deep learning concept has already been covered. So any deep learning, and I will not go to the detailed definitions of all these. So deep learning model, simply it uses the algorithms that are based on the multi-layer networks, and those multi-layer networks have inputs, outputs, and in between there are several hidden layers. So this way we can say, so for example, in this network, this is the input, and there are different hidden layers where objects are getting trained, and then these are the objects which are getting trained in the hidden layers, and then finally at the output. So these are the different training layers. This is the training task, and after training, the output is generated, that whether it is what object, whether it is a cat, it is a dog, or anything else. So these nodes participate in making the decision that it is a cat, or this decide whether it is a dog. So as input, when we pass the new object, then this training network which was earlier trained using the data, will identify that what object is based on the trained features. So basically, deep learning taxonomy uses classification in two ways, supervised and unsupervised way. So in supervised, CNN and RNN, convolutional neural networks and recurrent neural networks are being used. And in case of the unsupervised, deep belief nets and stack denoising autoencoders, sparse and autoencoders, and other also are being used. So we shall be focusing and expanding the concept this convolutional neural network as the topic is. So convolutional neural network, just we can say it is the extension of multi-layer perceptron, and that was based on the three ideas: local receive fields, shared weights, and temporal subsampling. So this way we can say these three layers are convolutional neural network. So convolution plus some nonlinear layer, then some subsampling layer, and then again repetition, convolution plus nonlinear layers, and then finally we get at the output fully connected network, and this is supervised in the sense. So this part is just training, and at last, so here we after convolution and then subsampling layer is just extension of convolution layer and different convolution layers, then subsampling. So number of times it can be iterated, and after all this we get the fully connected networks that results to the output of the network, that is the classified problem, classification of the object. When we create the network, so it would look like this. So this first input layer, that is the convolution layer, then there are different hidden layers, and these nodes at different layers are connected with next layer, and so on. So finally we get the output layer, and this is what will make the decisions on the scene. If we take some example, then for example, we take the learning an image. So some patterns are much smaller than the whole image. So in this deep learning model, CNN, what it do, it learns the different parts rather the whole image at a time. So this way, like this big detector will read the features at this, and it will identify, it will detect at one level. So what is the advantage? Advantage is to a small part of the scene can be represented with a less number of parameters, so that is much better. But if we look at how the network works, as we have seen in the diagram, this diagram, so there are four important parts in any neural network, convolution neural network. First was the convolution layer, where actually the action starts. Convolution layer is just designed to identify the feature of an image, and it goes from general to specific to identify, like identifying the elements of object, face of certain, etc. So convolution layer starts general to specified, and another layer, that is the subsampling layers, that and that part, rectified linear unit layer, it is also known ReLU. This is used to increase the non-linearity in the image, and just stripping the image of excessive fat to provide better feature extraction. So this ReLU layer help us to increase the non-linearity in the image, and it will help to get the excessive fat to provide the better feature extraction. So better the feature extracted, better will be the classification accuracy. Third layer is the pooling layer, which is designed to reduce the number of parameters, so that will reduce the computational complexity, definitely. And last is the fully connected layer, and this is just feed-forward neural network, and it is the final state line before the finish, and we use this helps in making the decisions. So if we consider the how to learn using the CNN this image, then so first of all we have to See, because these are the birds, and different birds may have the similar patterns at different parts, different locations in this. So such small detectors, and each detector must move around. So we have to learn the different features at different parts of this scene, and then those features are be stored. So, for example, to peak detection in this first, it has to be detected and all the layers have been performed. So this is the peak detector. Peak is detected in another in the same way, and then these two can be combined together, compressed together for the same parameters. So that will improve the accuracy. The convolution layer, what it do, it neural work with some convolution layers, and this has a number of filters that does convolution operation. So in convolution neural network, this convolution operation is very important, and all the computations are based on this convolution operator. So in this convolution layer, this convolution operator is performed on different pixel values of the scene, and then it is resulted is again performed using the same convolution, and so on. So this keep on iterating. Like, so it's a architecture is looking like this. There is some input and some part. You see here the blue line, blue at the center triangle. This. So after this, suppose this is the bird scene, and out of the bird, beak is extracted based on some filter. So this beak detector, this filter, and then it will give the fully connected network as an output that will detect whether it is a bird. To understand the convolution in convolution neural network, we have taken one example. This is a 6x6 general image, and suppose these are the two filters, filter 1, filter 2, and number of filters can be used after convolution layer, that is the LU. So first we have to perform the convolution of image with the first filter, then the second filter, and third filter, and so on. And after the result of these filters can be taken together. So each of these filters, the size of the filter is 3x3, while the image size is 6x6. So this 3x3 filter is applied, that is convolved with the original image 6x6 image, and then it detects. It is capable to detect only 3x3 size, and then this filter has to move around the original image, and all the outputs has to be stored. So it will give the reduced size in the parameters or the feature extracted. See, for example, we take the first filter and we perform the convolution. So first, to perform the convolution, we will take the dot product of 1 to 1. This way, this will result to the value 3, because 1.1, it will return 1, plus 1.1 will return 1, plus 1 dot, this 1.1 will return 1. Rest values are 0. So these zeros, when multiplied, taking the dot product with these different values, this, and this will result to 0. So it is 3. In the same way, so this is straight 1. And another, in the same way, this is shifted 1 pixel next this way, and then again we perform the filtration, that is the convolution with the given filter 1. Then we get another value. This way we can see sometimes we can take the straight values 2, that is we will shift 2 pixels. Here is the value 3, and then we shift 2 pixels. So now earlier it was here, and now we will, instead of shifting this to this place, we will shift to here, 2 straights, and this way it is now shifted, and this value is again now -3. Why -3? You can see, because here 1 into -1 plus -1 to -1 plus 1 into -1. So all these three are added together, so it will give you this, and this. These three values will result in -3. This way we will compute all the states. So returning back to state 1, suppose we shift this filter 1 pixel right and then 1 pixel down. So we will steer this window, this filter, to the whole original image all around, and then we will store those values, computed values. So these are the values 3, then -1, and then this way. So all values are computed this way. And finally, so this is the convolution result at first iteration, first layer. And similar things are being applied. Then we will take another filter, filter 2, and perform the same operation on the original image. Then we will get similar, same size, but another matrix of these values. So suppose this is, so these values are nothing but simply by taking the filter 1, these result to these values, and this gives to here. And so these two, if because this window, when this window, so this is 3, and when window was here, so this is again 3, and when window is here, top right, so the value is 1, and when windows at the bottom right, so the value is again 3. So this way, the similar operation has to be performed by using the filter 2, filter 3, and so on, and we will again get the similar values. This way, repeat this for each filter. So again, we will get similar values, and we are suppose keeping these values like this, and this way, finally, so we got 2 set of convolution matrix, 2 matrices we got, and now these matrices are extracting the features. Feature is just computed through the convolution operation. So this is called feature map or feature vectors. These feature maps, and the size of these, the result of feature matrix is 4 cross 4, and now we got 2 matrices because we use the 2 filters. We may have number of filters, so we will get that number of such matrices. So here 2 cross 4 matrices are formed, that is all together. If it is the color C, then in case of the color, or the similar operation has to be performed for each channel separately. So we will get 3 matrices for one filter at the same time, and then for another filter again we get 3, and so on. So this is the what the convolution. So after performing the convolution on this image by filter 1 and filter 2, we are getting 2 convolution matrices here, and what fully, but these are not fully. How we get the fully connected, whether it is fully connected or not, I mean, what difference in these two is. So this is the convolution matrix, a result after convolution. And in case of fully, if this is the matrix, so each value here is flattened first, that is, it is taking x1, x2, x36, because 6 into 6, 36 pixels are there. So all these are taking as nodes x1, x2, x3, x4, and so on, x36. And then we will have to see which of these nodes is connected, that is related in any of these. So these are also flattened, taking in the one vector. And then, so if each node in the image is connected to each of these pixel values, resulted convolution matrix values, like here, here, and here, every second, x2 also first, second, and so on, then we call it as fully connected, like this. So this way, filter 1 results this matrix, and it is flattened. So the values are taking 1, 0, 0. So here is 1, 0, 0. And then another matrix values. So this is 3. Another filter. This is for the filter 1. And so these values are 1, 0, 0 is connected to 3, because here connected to 3. And this is 0, 1, 0. So 0, 1, 0. This is also connected to 3. So I mean to say that these values are flattened first. What value? This image pixel value. These are flattened. These values are flattened. Flattened means making in a one vector. And then we have to say how network is constructed. So resulting values, these are connected to all 3. Then another computation. So how many parameters? Because 3 rows of 3. So 9 values together. So 9 nodes are here. All these 9 nodes are connected to 3. So it is having 9 inputs, but not fully connected. But it has the fewer parameters. Again, we shift the window, that is a filter, 1 pixel right, and then see the value. So value is -1. So again, it will be connected to 9. So this way, this is again connected to 9. So 9. into 9. So this way, these are sharing the weights. Now weights are shared because these are connected to 3, these are connected to 1, so they will share some weights together. But even there are few parameters. So this way we can say the whole working of CNN will look like this. There is some scene, so that scene will be performed by taking number of filters as CNN is constructed. Convolution is performed, then max pooling. We will see how max pooling works, and then convolution, max pooling. This way we get the small number of parameters in the max pooled matrix, and then that is used to construct the fully connected network, feed-forward network, which will be directly associated to the output layer, that is to help in classifying whether the scene is cat, dog, or whatever. So to understand the max pooling, this is the filter 1, and this is the result of this convolution matrix as we have computed earlier. So this pool has, and this is another filter, and this its a result, corresponding result. So this is the filter, it is convolution result, it is the filter, it is the convolution matrix result. So to understand the max pooling, we have to consider the maximum weight, the fatty value in the scene. So here is this value. So this 3 cross 3. So we have subsampled into 2 cross 2 because it is a 4 cross 4 matrix. So 2 cross 2, these 4 values subsampled, and each subsample we have to look at the max value. So here in the first, it is this way. So in the first, we max pool means maximum value in each of this subsample. So here is 3, and here is 0, and here is the largest 3, and here is the largest 1. So this is just the pool, max pool. In the same way here, we can see here is a -1, all similar values. So here is -1, and another in subsample 1, and here is maximum 0, here is maximum 3. So these are the max pools. So these max pools, so this way we got only 2 cross 2 matrix, 4 values together, 2 cross 2 matrix for filter 2. So these values are the result of the max pooling, that is the maximum value in that particular sample, subsample. To understand this subsample, that whether it will scale or change the values, so we will see again the same example of the bird. This is the bird and subsampling. So rather, what are we actually doing? We are doing, instead of taking the 4 parameters to 4 pixel representations, we are taking now the only 1 value. So parameters are reduced. Here again, parameters are reduced, and maximum weight, maximum value we are considering. That is why it is called max pooling. And this will, what will do? So instead of representing this large number of pixels in the original image bird, we have subsampled to some smaller values bird. So this will not change the object. Object will remain same. It is bird, so it will remain bird. So, but this will reduce to the computational cost. So this, we can say that we subsample the pixels to make the image smaller. And for that, we use the fewer parameters to characterize the image, and using the fewer parameters is better. Our convolution neural network compresses fully connected networks in 2 ways. Number 1, reducing the number of connections, means edges, or just sharing the weights on the edges, this way. And then max pooling reduces the complexity. So these are the 3 main advantages of CNN: reduces the number of connections, share the weights on the edges, and then max pool to reduce the further complexity. So in max pooling, we had already seen, instead of this image, after max pooling, we are getting 2 cross 2 matrix image here. And this is new image, but smaller, but it will not change the shape of the image or object in the image. And each of this filter, so these are two filters here after performing the convolution and max pooling. So each of these will be treated as one channel, that is one layer. So this way we can say that for this cat, convolution and max pooling together, then this will result to some new image, then again we apply. So this is always smaller than that of the original image and will be helpful. Channels means the number of filters. The number of filters that you use, that will be taking the number of channels, equivalent to number of channels. So once one filter used convolution, max pooling, so you get one new image, then convolution, max pooling, another new image, and this way. And these images are to be flattened. That is, we have to take one in terms of the vectors and then see how these are connected. So this will result the fully connected network, and that fully connected network will be used to classify the problem. Flattening already seen. If these are the two matrices after convolution and max pooling, two filters were there. So suppose these two resulted two images, 2 cross 2, two images. So to flatten this, simply we have to create a vector. First filter result, that is 3 0 1 3 green circles, and the brown one -1 1 row wise 0 and 3. So these are the different. So this becomes one vector. Now, so these will work as the nodes. So we have to look at how these nodes are connected in the network. So these will create. So at one level, one filter, two filter, three filter. So this way, number of times it can be applied, and finally these types of connection, that is the fully connected network, we will be getting at the output. Keras is an important library, and that is used for this purpose. CNN is implemented in this. So in this network structure, the format is just 3D tensor. So here is the input, and the convolution is simply can be performed using the model 2.add convolution 2D 25 3 3 means 25 matrices of size 3 cross 3, and the input shape is 28 28. So it means simply there are 25 3 cross 3 matrices, 25 3 cross 3 matrices, and input shape means 28 cross pixels, and this one shows the black and white. If we take here, it is the color image, so in a place of 1 we will have to take 3. So using the CNN in Keras, we create this convolution and max pooling using this function. And then again, after max pooled image, because now the result is this 2 cross 2, its result was 2 cross 2. So again, we will take this max pooling to here, then model 2 add max pooling 2D 2 cross 2. So 2 images, 2 cross 2 images later, then it is the result of this max pooling. So in the first, this we get the feature, the result of convolution. So it is corresponding to the model 2 add convolution 2D in this convolution level. Then max pooling, so corresponding to max pooling, the function is max pooling 2D 2 cross 2, and again convolution, then again max pooling. In this way, using all filters, and it will depend how many layers are there depending on the number of filters. So this is how CNN is constructed. So number of filters, parameters in each filter here, 3 cross 3, 25 means 3 crosses, total 9 parameters. Here if we look at, so here are 25 into 9 parameters, and so that is the part might have been covered in the Python when actual implementation being done. So I mean, here simply in the network, we are looking the number of parameters are getting reduced, and after flattening, and this is used in the output layer in that is the fully connected network. So this convolutional neural network has different applications in different areas. It has been widely used for the speech recognitions. So suppose this is the speech pattern, and in the pattern we will take this spectrogram, and CNN is being used for this purpose. So filters move the frequency directions. So frequency direction is this upstairs. So you see, this is suppose the filter and will run upside frequency directions. So this way we can say the values are getting trained and we are getting different matrices corresponding. It is used in the text classification too. So in text classification, the values we see here is a sentence matrix. So different embedding dimensions are here. So different sentence words shall be there. So corresponding to those sentence matrices are being created here. And then we create the convolution feature map. Like in case of the images, we have seen the feature map, convolution and pooling. So finally, we get the pooled representation. Pooled representation means reduced parameters. And then finally, we get the output. References are written here if you are interested. So this is what we did. So this way we can say that CNN is a big hammer. I mean, almost it can do everything. Just we need to have very small things. You need to just have a right nail, or so it can do anything. Plenty low-hanging fruits. I mean, so small things we have to do. Rest of the thing automatically done at different layers, extracting the features, combining, pooling, and all. So, and that will result the fully connected networks, and that directly helps in classification, recognition problem. In detection, so in the plate, you can see there are a number of fruits, and fruits are very shape, size, or color is very close to each other, even though it is possible to detect what fruit is, what is the shape, and where it is. In the another pictures, you can see these are the TV monitor. So in TV monitor, it is also possible. This is one TV monitor. This is another TV monitor. This is the girl. Here is so TV monitors are recognized. Here is a person. I mean this girl. So this is also detected. So it can be widely used for detection also. Scene parsing. This application is very important, and scene can be parsed means grouped into number of regions using the convolutional neural networks. And for geographical area parsing, this kind of applications are, this kind of problems are found. So CNN will be very much helpful. Indoors semantic labeling, RGBD, RGB depth images. So these are the RGB images combined with the depth of the image, depth image. So like you can see here are different images, wall, bed. Green is representing the bed and red is wall. Here is bookshelf, ceiling. So different objects are there. So and those objects has certain distance with different color pixels, because RGB image is there and it has some depth image also. So that is combination of these two. So real in the ground truth, it shall be the thing. So this first row represents the ground truth and second row represents the results of Farabet 2013 paper. CNN also useful for action detection and recognition, that whether the person is talking, person is on the phone, the person is just walking, standing, sitting, whatever. So action can also be recognized and detected with the help of CNN, and useful in image processing. And now we see, so I mean, CNN has the different, so we have gone through the brief architecture of CNN and there are 4 important tasks: convolution layer, and then ReLU layer, rectified layer, and then the pooling, and then finally the fully connected network layer. So and how we had also seen that instead of taking the full image, how the smaller size representation would be helpful, and that can be characterized with the help of a small number of parameters. And we have seen that few of the applications that it is used for the speech recognition, image recognition, object recognition, classification, detection, and so on. In the second part, we will be looking at what image classification is and what are its type, and how image classification can be performed using the machine learning algorithms and then the deep learning models, deep learning algorithms. So the classification is to simply identify or portray unique gray label or color the feature occurring in the image in terms of object, meaning that in the scene there are different objects, so number of pixels are there, so we have to identify which pixel belong to which particular category. Which pixel category means which pixel class. So we have to assign the class to each pixel in the image. So this is the main objective in the image classification. We also call it as object classification. And image classification is one of the important parts in digital image analysis. Classification can be performed in 2 ways: supervised and unsupervised. So supervised classification has different approaches like Euclidean classifiers, k-nearest neighbor classifiers, minimum distance, decision trees. So these are the different supervised classifiers. And what difference in these two is, in supervised, we know what to train. We know the class of images, the class of objects that has to be trained at the beginning, and then at the testing phase, this training database features are being used to predict that what the object is. So in any classification problem, there are 2 phases always. First is training and then testing. So in training phase, if it is the supervised classification, so it means we know the levels, we know the class levels, and we have to train those our classifier for those levels. And on the basis of that, we have to, some new image, new scene is coming. So based on that training, we have to predict, we have to make the decision that what object is in the testing image. In the supervised, another category is statistical techniques, and in statistical techniques, we use the probability distribution-based models, and these probability distribution-based models may be parametric, non-parametric. So we are not going through the details, just overview that how classification is categorized. And another complex classification is unsupervised classification. If we don't know the labels, we don't know that at the training phase that how to train and how many classes has to be trained. For example, in case of the supervised, if we know that in our scene, our classifier is trained for buses, bicycle, motorbike, aeroplane, chair, table, whatever. So these are the objects. For this, if we train this and perform the prediction, perform the classification on the basis of this training, then this is the supervised. And if the data is coming and we have several images, but we don't know what objects are there in the images, so that is unsupervised, because we cannot train our classifier for some train, bus or car or motorbike, etc. So unsupervised classification is quite complex problem, because we don't have any prior knowledge. So these are the unknown, we can say, but distinct expected classes are generated. Limited control over classes and identifies no detailed information. Yani we can say that in case of the unsupervised classification, it is just a black box. Everything is hidden, everything is unknown, and even though we have to identify the class, identify the object in the scene. So this is, and that is why the deep learning or CNN is widely used in unsupervised classification, because it is result in quite better accuracy in the classification problem. To understand supervised and unsupervised classification, we can look at, here is in the first block, we separate the data into groups with clustering. This is unsupervised. While in case of the supervised, what we do, we form the images of the data, then choose the training pixels for each category, because we know that what are the groups, what are the images. So each pixel is to be trained accordingly, whether it is a motorbike, car, etc. And then calculate the statistical parameters, statistical vectors, or we can say the descriptor, feature vector, any descriptor. So that descriptor, and if it is satisfactory, then we will classify, I mean provide the label of the class. If it is not satisfactory, again choose the training pixel, means train the pixel accordingly, again calculate the descriptor, again check, and so on. So this will keep on iterating. While in case of the unsupervised, because here category is known, so we take them, but here we cannot perform that. So in several categories we have taken, then classify the data into groups, and then assign the name to each group, whether it is satisfactory or not. Otherwise not. If not, then again repeat everything, because labels are not given. We cannot keep on changing the pixel values. Pixel training will be automatically generated. The example of super classification, you can see, suppose this is the image data sets, and it has the different just parts or the regions in the image, like hay, corn, urban, forest. So in the scene, this is some land scene. So these are the parts. So some descriptors corresponding to each of their, these are the descriptors, DN0, DN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these descriptors are computed, and then these are trained. So on the basis of this image data set, training data set, we have trained for water, for sand, for forest, urban, etc. And descriptors are computed and stored. So this is the training stage. And in the second stage, that is the classification stage or the testing stage, second, we will have to again, on the basis of this training, provide the test image, and these descriptors values are used to see whether the given image, testing image, is which belonging to which of these class, water, sand, forest, and urban, whatever. So this way, at the output stage, so first we train, second classify, and third is the just output. This can be another similar same example, water agriculture. So these are the different land regions, and finally we have to classify into 3, A, B, and C. A for water, B agriculture, and rock, etc. Unsupervised classification. So these are the data type. We don't know the class. Here, spectral classes, A or B or C. So we cannot train for A, we cannot train for B, we cannot train for C, because we don't know what is the class, what images are there for which training has to be performed. So algorithms has to be constructed in our unsupervised that will label the classes. So this is unsupervised classification as a complex activity, complex task. So this way, in classification, supervised or unsupervised, any in both the categories, there are two main things. So that we have to look at. So image classification, just to task taking an input image and just getting the class label or probability of the class that best describes the image, best matches the image. So for human, it is quite easy. In any scene, if there are different objects, like chair is there, bicycle is there in the scene, some tree is there. So we human people can look at the scene and can identify, okay, this is a chair, this is the tree, this is the human, etc. But what if the machine has to do the same task? So this is the challenging task. So to recognize such patterns, these complex patterns from prior knowledge and adopt the different image environments. So for machine, that is quite a difficult task, because machine has to train in such a way that they can make the similar decision similar to that of the human beings. For example, we are looking at this and computers are looking this. Left side, this scene cat, we are looking this image. But what computer will look at? Computer will look it as an image. That is the simple, the matrix, numbers. It is array of numbers. So computers are looking at this, and on the basis of these numbers, it has to decide that it is the cat. So computer sees this kind of the similar scene. So the challenging. So one important data set that is available for classification is the MNIST data set, and it is the data sets of digits from 0 to 9, and 0 or any digit is written in different ways, handwriting. You can see this is the one, this is also one, this is also one, this is also one, and say like 6 is like this, sometimes 6, so this way. So it is written on different writings. So this data set has 60,000 training images and 10,000 test images. So we have to find how accurate it is. So in this data set, this is a standard data set, pre-trained data set, in fact, available online. So, and accuracy has been reported 99.77%. Means any of the digit can be accurately recognized. So if we are using MNIST data set, then our any handwriting digit will go, then it will recognize correctly, and because its accuracy has been reported as 99.77%, means quite high. For example, take the digit 8, so the values will look like this, and so most of the values black, so black means zeros, and other values gray, and so gray scale image, so other values are gray and white. So values from 0 to 255 values are here. So the around the edges the values are high, and this is the what the computer looks. Another data set is the CIFR data set, 10 data set, and this also have 60,000 images of 20 and 32 cross 32 sizes. These images are color images, and 10 types of images, 10 classes of images are available. Each class consists of 6,000 images. So there are 50,000 training images and 10,000 the test images. I mean, the model has been tested on 50,000 images and tested on 10,000 images, and accuracy has been reported on this value. I have not recorded the accuracy, what they reported. So each of the classes are 10 classes. So airplane, automobile, bird, cat, deer, dog, frog, horse, ship, and truck. And each class has 6,000 images, 6,000 airplanes, 6,000 automobiles, 6,000 birds, 6,000 cats, 6,000 deer, and so on. And so there are 10 categories, 10 classes, each 6,000, so total 60,000 images. And the size of each image is 32 cross 32. Each image is a color. So if you apply the deep neural network, so there will be 3 channels, RGB. So corresponding to each channel, we have to construct the convolution matrix, RGB, every time, and then we get the pooled data, and that pooled data is flattened, and after flattening the data, we have to see fully connected networks, and that is what will be used to predict, to see what is what image is. I already told, if the image is color image, then RGB image, it is RGB image, then we have to first separate all 3 channels and for every channel, we have to work in the same way. I mean, same procedure has to be applied. So suppose M rows and N columns. So blue, green, and red, all three channels has to be separated, and corresponding to each, we have to construct the layers in the neural network. So earlier, how image classification was performed before the deep learning, I mean to say, previous deep learning means before deep learning models. So image classification, some machine learning approach was used. In what machine learning approach or some statistical classifier uses, this simply what we have to do, we have to handcraft the features, meaning thereby we have to decide that the images of this kind, image qualities of this kind, image scene is of this kind. In the scene, there are birds, there are chairs, there are bicycles, motorbike, tree, whatever. So what will be the suitable feature? This user has to identify, user has to find that this feature will be suitable for identifying bird from tree, tree from human, human from cycle, like this. So it might be possible that this is one feature can help in labeling the class, that identifying which object is, or might be possible that more than one features are extracted and those can be combined together to perform the classification. So in image classification earlier, when deep learning was not used, handcrafted features were used, and this feature might be like some textual features. This feature, texture feature might be maybe the histogram, entropy, maybe the Harlick features, or gray level run length matrix, or local binary pattern, ternary patterns, maybe the wavelet transform coefficients, maybe the color, also color, maybe the shapes. So different features could be taken, and those features user has to decide, and that is why it was not much accurate classification. But when we use the deep learning, what will happen? We do not need to decide which feature, how many features, or how many features can be combined together to classify the objects. But the deep learning model, that the neural network model, would automatically extract the features. How many features? Maximum number of possible features. Combine them together. Analyze them together. And finally, those feature descriptors, those features extracted from automatically are used to train the model, the network, and that network is used for the classification, that is the prediction at the testing phase. So texture features that were used, handcrafted features, as handcrafted features means simply we have to decide which feature, how to construct that feature, how to extract that feature, and that those features might be some histogram, some entropy, energy of the wavelet coefficients, or any gray level run length, or maybe the binary patterns, tertiary patterns, PCA, or whatever. Morphological features might be there, whose movements, shape features, I mean geometrical, granulometry, energy, robustness ratio, roundness ratio, and so on. I mean, different geometrical features can be used. But that feature we have to decide whether we have to take this feature and we will shape this, like apply the morphology, maybe the rectangular, maybe the triangular, maybe the diamond shape kind of things. So this was the main thing, that features were need to decide by the user, which feature, how many features, how to combine for the classification problem. But in case of the deep learning is just new area of machine learning, where features are not to be handcrafted, not to be decided by the user, but these algorithms, neural networks, will decide, which has introduced with the objective of moving machine learning closer to one of its original goals, that is AI, means artificial intelligence. Now machines are intelligent enough to decide that which feature should be extracted, or which feature in this scene shall be helpful to identify the object. So the main concepts related to deep learning neural networks to use in classification, just from one layer to another layer. Always there are more than 3 layers. Why? Because there is always 2 layers, input and output, and at least one hidden layer must be there. So 3 layers minimum depth in any network. More than 3 might be possible because hidden layers can be more than 1. In deep learning networks, or each layer of the nodes trains on the distinct set of features based on the previous layer output. If at the first layer, whatever it has trained, so it will result some output. So that will be passed to the next layer. It will be trained there. This will be passed to next layer. It will be trained there, and so on. So this way, neural networks. So more complex feature, but nodes can recognize because they aggregate and recombine features from the previous layer. Because, or we can say at different layers, these are trained. So, and the next layer is getting the input from the previous layer, that is the previous pre-trained feature. So it has the nature how it was trained earlier. So next training means further training has to be performed on that value. So this way, the deep learning models can better handle, or CNN can better handle the complex scenes, complex objects in the scene. There are different deep learning models that could be used to construct the CNN or any neural network, like deep Boltzmann machine is there, restricted Boltzmann machine, deep belief networks, autoencoders, RNN, CNN. So these are different models. CNN is widely used, RNN depending on the application. But these are the different deep learning models which are very much popular in the classification problem. CNN is one of them. So CNN take a biological inspiration from the visual cortex, meaning that because convolutional neural networks, the concept of design of this network is based on the neurons in the human brain and how neurons function. So the function has been automated. So that is why CNN works and make the decision in the way the human being brain do. Like the visual cortex has the small regions of cells, which are sensitive to specific regions. And similar you have seen in case of the CNN, it reads some part. In case of the bird, only beak was trained. That feature was read. So in the same way, small regions, it reads or trained in the small regions. So examples are here. Some neurons fired when exposed to vertical edges, other may be for horizontal edges, other may be for diagonal. Means in our brain, some of the neurons are helping to recognize whether these are quite good edges, vertical edges, horizontal edges. I mean, different regions in the scene. In the same way, we can see also that if scene has the different colors, so different neurons in the human brain help to identify different neurons identify that whether it is this color or that color or that color. And this is quite related to the mesopic vision, scopic vision, photopic vision. So neuronal cells in the visual cortex looking for a specific characteristic, and always this basic specific characteristic. So for this specific characteristic, identifying this specific characteristic, the CNN has been designed. And this is the main reason, this is the main basis of designing the CNN. It's architecture already, so just a recall: convolution layer, pooling layer, and then the fully connected layer. So this is convolution, different convolution layers convolving the scenes, input images there. So different feature maps we got, and its part in another layer, subsampling, smaller parts, here convolution, then subsampling, convolution, subsampling. This way, a small number of parameters can be used at the final phase, final layer, that is the fully connected network layer, and which is the actually the output. Convolution we have already done. Even we have seen the example that was the simply dot product. Any filter is there, so the filter is stirred or taking over the image, and the dot product is computed and then multiplied and just added the values, so gets the 1 pixel value. And like this, here it is computed for yellow one part, you can see. So take the dot product, so 1.1 is 1 plus this is 0 plus this is 1, so 1 plus 1 plus this is again 1 plus this is 0 plus last one, this is 1 because here is 1, so 1 plus 1 plus 1, it is 4. Now this will be shifted 1 pixel right, so it will give this value. This will be shifted 1 pixel right, this will give this value, and then this shifted down 1 pixel here to here, then it will give this value, and at last here to here it will give last value, and so on. So we can say this is the original input image and any filter. Then after convolution we get the filtered image or the convolved image, and this is the convolved features, computed convolved features at last, which is smaller in size. That is the, so in this particular example, 3x3 matrix K, that is the filter detector sometimes, or sometimes the kernel, and matrix is found by sliding the filter over the image left to right and top to bottom with and computing the dot product. So this is called convolved feature or just activation map or feature map. So these three, this feature map or activation maps are quite popular term. See one example. Here is some scene as is here. That is the part of some scene. This is the scene and it is its part. So the map, if this is represented by this map, and so visualization of this receptor field, that is representation over this. For that we have taken the pixel representation of the receptor field and the pixel representation of the filter. This is the filter representation, this is the pixel representation of the receptor field. So these are convolved together to see it better. So this way the convolution CNN is used for classifying, and CNN, the convolution is the main operation. So here for this is the representation, and the part is red, that is the this filter is over here. So when this matrix is pixel represented convolved with this, so and multiplied and summed, this comes out to be 0. But this convolution operation we have already seen and how. And this convolution operate can be of any different filters can be there, and different filters will produce the different feature maps or activation functions, activation values for the same image. For example, you see here, this is the input image left side, and if you take the filter identity matrix 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 0, 0, then after filtering this original image with this matrix filter, we get the convolved image like this. So you can see what are the features visible. Identity, it is exactly the same as that of the input image. Nothing has been filtered. And if it is another image, another filter, that is the edge detector, some edge detector. So you can see this is the original image. After filtering with the help of this filter, we are getting this scene where only edges are there, and those edges are not that sharp, but it processed in some way. So instead of characterizing this whole image, we are getting only the edges in the image. Those will be characterized with lesser number of parameters. Another filter we take, another edge detector, another edge detector. So this is, here is also edges, so different edge detector. We can take this filter for sharpening. So this input image is quite sharpened. This image may be blurred. So this is seen. I mean, by taking the different filters, we get different feature maps. And different feature maps, so this way, that is why number of features can be taken in convolutional neural network to get different layers, different those different descriptors will be filtered again at the next layer, and so on. So this way, we will get a smaller but fully connected network at the final stage. Like this is the complex problem, that this is the scene. So different type of scene matching with each other or very close to each other are there. So this has to be classified with the help of CNN. So these are another examples, like this is the image, grayscale image, grayscale image, grayscale image, and this is the filter. So this will gives 308 values. This is another filter. It gives this is another filter. So suppose three kernel filters are used, then we will give a matrix and +1. So total number of features, I mean, CNN can be constructed for this purpose, taking the convolution in the same way. This we have already seen in CNN learns the values of these filters on its during the training process. Yeh important, its own. This training is being done automatically. This CNN doesn't require any parameter or anything that you specify that learn this feature. That is read edges, read entropy, read energy of this coefficient, not like that. It automatically decides what features should be read and extracted from the scene. Although some parameters are to be specified, like how many filters, what is the filter size, whether padding is required or not, whether stride means whether after every pixel, after 2 pixels, after 10 pixels, whatever, so stride values. So before training, these parameters are to be specified, but we do not need to specify which features or how many features. Only we have to specify the filters, number of filters, size of the filter, padding, stride size, that's it. Activation layer, that is rectified linear unit layer, this is important, and this is applied after the convolution operation, and this is just simply the max of, as we had seen in the example earlier. So this is an element wise operation per pixels, and it replaces all the negative pixel values in the feature map by 0, and this to introduce non-linearity in the image, non-linearity in the network. So ReLU is used to introduce non-linearity in the image. This is important thing. Like in this example, you see input feature map is here, white are positive values and black negative values. So this grayscale image, and when rectified LU is applied, then it will look something like this. So this is having only the positive values, non-negative values are replaced, because values from negative 0 values were there. So 0 at least means largest. So ReLU has performed better in most situations. Other sigmoid function can also be used instead of ReLU, or 10 hypo can also be used. Pooling we had already seen, but in this example, simply pooling downsamples the size to smaller in each depth slice of the input. Like here, this is 224 cos 224, 64 strips of 224 cos 224. So it 224 cos 224, so it downsamples to half of this. Suppose it is half of this is downsample, so 112 cross 112. This way you can say it will pool 112 cross 112 means 64 strips of 112 into 112. So half of the size of this means this is just scaled down, so subsampled, you can say. And then single depth slice, we can take every pixels. So this every pixels together, these are the filters results. So max pooling is being performed. Here is the 6, here is 8, here is 4, here is 3, 6, 8, 4, 3, and this is what we get. So most common downsampling operation is simply the max, and max pooling is been applied. So in each slice, we have to choose the largest value, the maximum value. Fully connected networks, already seen that every node must be connected to every output node in the input. All activations in the previous layer. So as if there are several layers, like here, it is connected here, it connected. So like here, once it is flattened, so every layer in the previous has to be connected with everyone, every other layer, like this. And this way we get the, so flattening, fully connected network, and then output. So this is the classification. And earlier, that is the convolution plus ReLU pooling, convolution, ReLU pooling. This you can treat it as feature learning. So training, here is the learning phase, and this flattening and fully connected network construction is classification. So this is all about, and we can perform using Python. For this convolution, ReLU, convolution, pooling, then this way. So number of times, number of layers are there, and this will finally give fully connected network, and that will identify, classify whether it is car, truck, airplane, ship, horse, or whatever. So this is all about. This way we can say the CNN is the simplest case, where image volumes are transformed into the classes, that is label the class, some distinct types of layers like convolution, ReLU, pooling, fully connected. These are the names of the layers that will be there in CNN. Each layer may have some parameters. Each layer may or may not have additional hyperparameters. So this is all about from my side, and thank you very much. So now if any of you have something to discuss, welcome, or my contact ID is written at the beginning. If any of you are interested in any of these topics to work further, write to me on ayub.omprakash@gmail.com anytime. So yes, welcome. If any questions, queries are there.
Any participants is having any questions, please ask.
Excuse me, sir. I have one small doubt, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, if we are using max pool function, so it reduces the matrix, it downsizing the matrix. So
Yes.
is there any data loss after the using max pool?
Actually, we are at the compressing, in fact. So data loss here, the objective is what? We have to train the classifier neural network in a way so that the thing which is helpful in identifying the object would not be lost, because we are not processing the image. Like if you are processing the image, and suppose there is a my scene, my picture is there, and if it is processed, reduced after max pooling, it will have a small number of parameters, small values, smaller size. Then if my picture at lower side is not that good, you reduce the color, you reduce the brightness kind of things, so it means there is a data loss. But here our objective, we are not changing the image, we are training the image, we are reading the image and keeping something training, and that will again used to only predict the values, that is to match what is what. So we are not processing the image, so we are not changing anything in the image. Here objective is to what to extract, what to keep, that will help to match the new scene. That's it. Understood? Here we are not changing the image, we
Yes,
only
sir.
extracted some features. Yes.
Yes, sir. Actually, we are concentrating on only the maximum values, but we are ignoring the lesser values.
No.
Or minimum values. Yes.
No, not only the values. We are performing the convolution operation. You see in the convolution neural network, convolution is just sum of the multiplications of the pixel values at each pixel vector. जितना size आपने ले रखा था ना 3x3 का, तो ये क्या था? विंडो प्रोसेसिंग, ब्लॉक प्रोसेसिंग थी. आपने इंडिविजुअल पिक्सल को प्रोसेस नहीं किया है, ग्रुप में किया है. So ऐसे समझो आप, तो जस्ट instead of 9 pixels, we are taking its best representation using 1 pixel, like that. Instead
Okay,
of
sir.
9 pixel, we are taking 1 pixel. So, for example, if we take the simple average of these 9 pixels instead of performing the convolution, simple average of those, and if that average help us to identifying that what is the values, what are the edges in this region, then that is sufficient. We never mind whether either average or what is it. So quality doesn't matter here. We are not changing the quality. Objective is what was there. So better understanding, better training to the network.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Sir, one more thing.
Yes, please.
Can we use multiple filters in the max pooling layer, sir?
Of course, we had seen, because in max pooling, number of filters you are using at different layers. At the first layer, 1 filter, then corresponding max pooling in that filter. Another layer, you have seen this. Is it here? Then different filters at, you see here. 1 filter, it's max pool. Here was max pooling example. Here what? So filter 1, it's max pooling. Filter 2, it's max pooling. So first we have to apply, then we will get its output, then apply the max pooling, then another filter, its output is corresponding to 1 layer, its output, another filter, another layer, another output. So max pooling we are applying corresponding to each filter output. Means max pooling is after the filter output.
Okay,
You see
sir,
here
okay.
also after convolution. So convolution means there is 1 filter here. So 1 convolution matrix, apply max pooling. Then whatever result coming to go to the next level, so apply another filter, convolution again, another filter, perform max pooling. Then another convolution matrix, another filter 3, perform max, and finally the result is result of max pooling is flattened. Then flattening is to be applied, and in that flattening we get the fully connected network. Yes,
Okay, thank you,
anything?
sir. Thank you, sir.
Any more questions, participant? If not, then thank you very much, sir, for explaining in such a simple manner, and I believe this that will benefit all our participants. And thank you very much, sir, for taking and sparing time with us. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Participants, we will again resume at 3 for our next session.
Yes, sir. At what time is our test today? We have test?
That is given in WhatsApp group. I think it's at 2.
At 2.
It will start at 2.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. That will be 1 hour, right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.